My gosh, 35 years ago I was here for the first time, and it's now my fourth visit. And in the meantime, I got so many acquaintances and friends here that you're definitely part of my broader family. I'm very thankful for that and grateful. So, what I'm going to talk about? South Tyrol and its apple industry in general, a few words about Variety Innovation Consortium, our department for innovation activities. We have our actual variety mix in South Tyrol. The ideal variety, what's the ideal variety, and what we are looking for the future for. Let's start with the first topic. So, Italy, everyone knows, it's part of Europe, and it's comparable in terms of population to South Africa. About 60 million people there. Surface-wise, we are much smaller. We are 1/4 of your size here in South Africa. And South Tyrol is one province of a region which is very far north, as you see, close to the border to Austria and Switzerland. So we are just where I live, in the middle of that province. It's just an hour drive to Switzerland or Austria. So, by the way, saying that we are more German-speaking people there than Italians, although we are citizens in Italy, but as we have been part of the Habsburg monarchy, so we still speak mainly German over there. So climate-wise, we grow in this area, so we distinguish three major parts. One is this classical valley floor at 200 to 350 meters sea level, then the slope side between 350 and 600 meters, another growing area, and the highest elevations, not on the top of those mountains, but in the top of that high elevations there, we grow up to 1,000 meters sea level as well. We're pretty lucky with sun compared to the northern sites in Europe. 300 days about of sunshine with 2,000 hours a year. Precipitation-wise, we're also pretty good in terms of the quantity and also about the whole year throughout. We got some precipitation up to 800 millimeters in average. About the facts, by the way, we are the largest contiguous apple growing region in Europe with 18,000 hectares. If you believe it or not, there are 7,000 farmers, or let's say owners, because maybe farmers are only 5,000 real farmers, family farmers mostly, which are growing in this 18,000 hectares, 18,500, something like that. We produce yearly about 1 million tons of apples, about 50%, that's about 50% of the Italian production, and 10% of the European production, so in order that you have an idea. And we also do quite a nice amount of organic production. 25% of the whole European production is organic. Marketing-wise, 90% of the whole production goes through cooperative system. The rest is in the hand of free traders and 3 clock auctions. Our main market is Italy, local market, but also then very important, Germany, Northern Europe, Spain, Eastern Europe, North Africa, so actually your continent already, Middle East, and we do a little bit now in the southern areas of America and as well in India. We have in the area 2 dominant fruit producer organizations, which are, one is FOC, another one is FIP in those areas acting. So FOC is a consortium of the South Tyrolean fruit growers cooperatives with 11 members, approximately 10,800 hectares growing area, and with about 550,000 tons yearly production. While FIP is roughly the half in terms of area, 5,500 hectares, and about 300,000 tons apples a year, with 7 members in that produce organization. We do grow, as you see, 96% of our apples on slender spindle on M9 rootstock, mainly T327, but also other 9 clones. They are all on this spacings 3 by 3.2 by 0.8 to 1 meter distances. That's by far a major system. Then newer systems are double-leader system, where we have obviously a bit smaller spacings. And the newest ones are, we call it multi-leader. In New Zealand, it's called FOPS system. So that's what we planned on a distance from 2.4 to 2.6 by 1.3, 1 to 1.5 meters. About our consortium, where I'm responsible for. So we are a department for those two big producer organizations I just mentioned, FOG and FIP, for research and development in terms of mainly variety innovation. So we were founded, as you saw, already in 2002, so it's already the 22nd season we are acting. And this is my small team I'm proud about. So from the left, Evelyn, she's for administration, variety manager Clemens, the next. Then on my right side, the two variety technicians, Maria and Nadia, they are doing the jobs outside in the orchard. One of the key points in general in South Tyrol is the collaboration between the different institutions. Obviously, we have to work very closely to all of these important ones, like, of course, for our two members, FOG and FIP, we are sitting on, we call it the Variety Commission, where we bring on the table all the different matters together and work, as I said, on those together. So FOG and FIP. Limburg Research Center, that's our independent research center, which is responsible for all the researches, of course. And by the way, also Limburg does the first test level 1, which I'm coming to speak. And the extension service, we are also proud of, because not because I was 22 years working for that entity, but it is the company which brings all the knowledge at the end to the growers. And therefore, it's very important in our context of variety innovation as well. So our activities in general, so we are doing networking, scouting, licensing, variety testing, and variety management, SSK. So let's start with the first topic, networking, scouting, licensing. Everything starts there. You have to know about who is who in the world, who does breed, who is the owner and managers of certain varieties. So we try to build and to maintain relations to all the major, or our point of view, the most powerful breeders and owners to the world. That's why we are traveling. That's one reason why I'm also here too. And then building networks like we did with our International Pond Food Alliance, which is a network we are proudly members of as FOG and FIP, and then also in the technical side with our department SK. So the International Pond Food Alliance is an alliance which is worldwide active with 27,000 hectares roughly of area and approximately 2 million of production epicent per year. The CMI orchards in the east side here, on the left side, sorry, in America is our partner in Washington State, San Clemente in Chile, even Fruitways here in South Africa, Montague in Australia, and Heartland in New Zealand. We, FOG and FIP, as I said, are the representatives for this alliance in Europe. Through to this alliance, as I said, and not only through to this, we are able to even connect to the best breeders and owners in the world, and we try to, as I said, to extend this as much as we can, even in order to have access to the most promising selections which we might do in the future. Then once you have seen these newcomers which are looking promising. Obviously, you have to test those things. And if we import material, so in Europe there is no quarantine needed, so we can exchange the material easily from one country to the other. But if it comes from abroad, so we have to go to quarantine, and this is which we do normally at our research center, Limburg. Limburg has got facilities for that. And if we then want to export material to, for example, our IPA partners, so we go through the Clean Plant Center, which was just mentioned before by Hugh, CAV in Faenza, Italy. Then I mentioned already that Limburg Research Center does a test level 1, so-called first test level, where they do in overall 300 apple varieties a year, and 2 different macroclimatic sites, 200 meters, 220 at their research center headquarters, and also in the middle of the Finchgau Valley. That's the left side VIP area where Limburg does at 700 meters a test site as well, with 5 trees each. So just to get a rough idea about the whole performance, or about the rough performance of a variety. And once they are looking promising, which is then our job to look after that, as SK, we do a test level 2, which is then done at minimum 3 different sites, 250 meters, 550 and 900 meters, with much more trees, as you see, 50 to 100 trees each site, in order to get really understanding about production, storage capacity, and also consumer or client feedback. And again, if there are some very promising selections, we go even to a 3rd test level, which is then the so-called test level 3, with 500 to 1,000 trees per site, in order to get bins, if not to say already tons of apples, to do proper research at the market, and to see what really the clients then want to do with it. And that's what is just for selected varieties, of course. So all the data we are creating, we are implementing in our Cultiva program, which we are using since many years. And obviously this Cultiva gives us a good report, which we then have to give to our board. And the board is the entity then which has to decide, the SK board, it has to decide if a variety will be rejected or recommended. So depending on, of course, on different matters. So this is going to happen only rarely, that we introduce a variety. We don't need every year many varieties, of course. So just, let's say, 1 variety every 5 years in average. But we have to do a proper testing, as I showed you now, in order to understand which one is the most suitable for us and for our producer organizations. So most of the time we will reject, obviously, the variety due to certain reasons. And when it comes to introduction, obviously, we need the variety management. And as I said, our Clemens Hafner is responsible in collaboration with the guys in the producer organizations to introduce these varieties smoothly to the different markets. For now, we are responsible for those 4 varieties, CRV M49 Red Pop on the left, then Ipador Giga, War 38 Cosmic Crisp, and Shinano Gold Yellow. So what we understand just quickly under management, obviously, first of all, you have to select, if you want to work with partners, the best ones which are willing to work closely with you. Then obviously the production has to be market driven. Never ever do just a production because farmers are happy to produce it. You have to make sure and to be sure that the variety will be received from the clients and they want to appreciate it. Management is key point. There is no compromise possible, so only the best quality management gives good results in terms of introducing variety. If you do compromises, we are lost already. The introduction has to be controlled, so obviously our marketeers have to select to start with the first certain clients and then extending to more and more, because at the beginning you don't have these amounts of volumes which you may need then in the later stages. Obviously, promotion, very important, point of sales, whatever. There's a lot of things to done if you want to introduce it properly. Otherwise, the variety is not recognized at the shelf if it's not obviously combined with promotions as well. And you have to be very disciplined, of course, doing this. It has to be coordinated within our producer organization, but also with our partners. How does it look, our actual variety mix in South Tyrol? Actually, we do have still a lot of commodities, 23% of golden delicious, as you see, 21% of gala, close to 10% of red delicious, 7.5% of Granny Smith, 6% of Fuji's, 3% Braeburns, Pinovas, and then 7.5% of Crisp Pink and Mutations in the meantime. Close to 4% of Nicotorcanzi, 3.5% of War 38 Cosmic Crisp, close to 3% of Charlotte Envy, as you see, 2% of Ipador Giga, 1.5% CRV M49, 1.2% of Ambrosia, and 4.5% others. Others are those which I'm going to show you now, but just to have an idea, the percentage is about 27% of managed varieties in the meantime, in folk more than in VIP, for certain reasons as well. Anyway, so we are working to extend on this, to extend this percentage up to probably 1/3 in average. After Ambrosia, I already mentioned Crimson Snow, Jazz, Bonita, Joya, Natura, Sweet Tango, Yellow, Evelina, and last but not least, Kisabel are our other managed variety projects so far. And yeah, what is the ideal variety? There are different viewpoints, of course, which we all have to consider. So one viewpoint is certainly the one from the consumer, which looks for good eating quality, nice optic, hygienically perfectness, production circumstances must be good, global gap, and these things. And obviously, the consumer does not want generally to spend too much money. On the other hand side, we have our sales guys, our marketeers, which are wanting to have obviously an easy handling product with therefore high packout, which are then how they say, which is then important to get back money to the growers, of course, storability, and last but not least, the network where where this variety comes from has to be the one we want also, because we cannot work with other partners which are not willing to share these views I just was showing. And obviously a farmer has to have his own views. It's normal, it's good so. Reasonable returns has to have the farmer, packouts as well, resistances, high regular yields. The variety ideally should be easy to grow and obviously financially an advantageous variety as well. So we have to make sure, it is our definitely job as K and in Folk and FIP generally, and also in IPA we want to do the same. We cannot afford that everyone else, sorry that I'm saying here in this audium, is taking off pieces of our cake, and at the end to the farmer, I mean, hopefully there are most of the farmers here also, they don't get anything of this cake because all the rest is taken off by other parties. That can't be. Therefore, we, as an IPA group, have a nice example now with Ipador Giga, where we definitely try to have everything in our hand, from licensing onwards to production, propagation, marketing, sales, everything is in our hand with this variety, with this brand also. And we have to make sure that the farmers are making money. Otherwise, all the rest doesn't make any sense. And over the last, I would say, even decades already, it happened quite in the other direction. I mean, everyone else were living out of that money the farmer should have, by the way. I have nothing against. I'm also, the one who has to live out from this, but I'm happy with my salary, and I want to have all the rest back to the farmer's gate. That's what it is, and that's what it should be. What are our apps for the future? For the moment, as you see, we are having quite a lot of nice projects which we want to consolidate, and we want to extend those in the future. So we don't need any real new variety just tomorrow, but we need certainly look for mid and long term, which is then 5, 10, 15 years, whatever. And this job has to be done now in order to get tomorrow, after tomorrow, the right varieties. And how should they look? As I said already, they have to be in a reasonable contract. If the contract is not fine, we are not even interested anymore in new varieties. It cannot be that, as I said, everyone else is earning money and not the farmer himself. So the contract has to be made so that also the farmer gets his piece of the cake. And of course then, varieties have to be high yielding and regular yielding, have to have high packouts, easy in handling, excellent storage behavior and long shelf life. Last but not least, resistances are becoming more and more important, of course, due to the losses of plant protection material, plant protection products we are having and will have in the future, so therefore very important that point as well. And I don't say it shall be given, or somehow it has to, that the eating quality must be high. So we don't look for those things which we are in terms of commodities we are still doing nowadays. That's what is coming in the future, has to be even better in terms of eating quality. Of course, then it looks and sounds like an easy jack of all trade varieties, but that's what we definitely have to focus on. So, a lot to do, but with the right attitudes, we are able to do it. I say, from our point of view, we will be able to do it in South Tyrol, and I'm sure, seeing this, what I saw last week, together with Stephen and many of you here, guys, you have very good conditions here for apple growing, and you can definitely do it as well. We heard it yesterday in different lectures, so if you want, we can move a lot together, so let's do it.